In the top stories, Prime Minister Drew to lead delegations to France and Brazil, Trinidad and Tobago to investigate claims made by Venezuelan president, and Russia attacks Ukraine in retaliation for raid on its strategic bombers. Welcome to today's ZIZ Midday newscast. Today is Friday, 6th June 2025. I am Jasmine Thomas. Prime Minister of St. Christopher and Nevis, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew, will lead a high-level delegation to participate in two significant international engagements: the 3rd United Nations Ocean Conference, UNOC3, in Nice, France, and the Brazil-Caribbean Summit in Brasilia, Brazil. These meetings form part of the government's ongoing efforts to advance St. Kitts and Nevis' foreign policy agenda, promote sustainable development, and deepen international cooperation. The United Nations Ocean Conference will bring together world leaders, experts, and partners to address urgent issues surrounding ocean sustainability, climate resilience, and the protection of marine resources. St. Kitts and Nevis' participation at this global forum emphasizes the Federation's commitment to advancing the sustainable island state agenda and contributing meaningfully to global ocean governance. As for the Brazil-Caribbean Summit, this summit serves as a vital platform for dialogue between Brazil and the Caribbean nations to strengthen diplomatic relations, expand economic cooperation, and address shared challenges such as climate change, energy security, food security, and investment opportunities. Prime Minister Drew emphasized that St. Kitts and Nevis' active engagement in these global forums demonstrates the Federation's determination to be visible, contributing a voice on issues of international importance, while also pursuing concrete outcomes that can advance the nation's development priorities at home. The Federation of St. Christopher and Nevis was elected to serve as a Vice President of the 80th session of the United Nations General Assembly. St. Kitts and Nevis will serve alongside the former Foreign Minister of Germany, Annalena Baerbock, who assumes the position of President of the United Nations General Assembly in September at the UNGA's High-Level Week. The General Assembly takes on critical importance this year as the singular world body marks the 80th anniversary of our United Nations. The General Committee of the United Nations General Assembly is comprised of a President and 21 Vice Presidents of the Assembly and the chairpersons of the 6 main committees. The 5 permanent members of the Security Council serve as Vice Presidents as well. At the beginning of each session, the General Committee considers the provisional agenda and the supplementary list and makes recommendations to the General Assembly to ensure a world that is inclusive, just, and equitable. St. Kitts and Nevis' ascension to this office is congruent with the results-oriented work program of Her Excellency Dr. Mutris Williams. Her Minister Counselor, experts, and the administrative team at the Permanent Mission of St. Kitts and Nevis to the United Nations. The team is actively implementing the Prime Minister's and Foreign Minister's directives backed by the Sustainable Island State Agenda to scale up diplomatic and developmental action to secure partnerships programs for the direct benefits for the empowerment of Kittitians and Nevisians. In a pioneering move for marine conservation and economic sustainability, the Department of Marine Resources of St. Kitts and Nevis partnered with the Caribbean Aquatic Restoration Effort St. Kitts and Nevis to host a dynamic week-long training focused on farming the native Caribbean king crab. This initiative marks a transformative step in protecting the Federation's fragile coral reef ecosystems while creating innovative livelihood opportunities for local fishers. The training, which wrapped up on Friday, follows a strategic meeting held on Thursday, 8th May, led by CARE co-directors Valerie Gregoire and Rudel Williams. The Caribbean king crab is a powerful ally in reef conservation by feeding on harmful algae that suffocate corals. These crustaceans naturally contribute to reef health and biodiversity. Their role as reef cleaners positions them as both an ecological asset and a sustainable resource. The intensive training was facilitated by Dr. Jason Spadora of Mote Marine Laboratory and Aquarium in Sarasota, Florida, a leading expert in marine restoration. As part of the program, participants learned to construct and manage cages for various stages of the crab's development, including hatching, juvenile and adult crabs. The initial goal is to install 2 adult cages and 8 juvenile cages in Tamarind Cove, Nevis, and the Southeast Peninsula, St. Kitts, with the crabs expected to reach harvest maturity after completing their 1-year life cycle. In regional news, the Trinidad and Tobago government says it is closely monitoring the situation after Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro claimed that a group of heavily armed Colombian hitmen entered eastern Venezuela from Trinidad. Maduro made this statement during a televised speech on Monday at the inauguration of the new governor of Sucre State, Joana Carrillo. In response, Trinidad and Tobago's Ministry of Defense issued a statement on Wednesday acknowledging Maduro's remarks and confirming that the country has launched a comprehensive investigation into the matter. The Ministry of Defense is aware of recent reports concerning a claim made by the President of the Bolivarian Republic of Venezuela, alleging the infiltration by Colombian paramilitary groups in eastern Venezuela through Trinidad and Tobago. The statement read, "According to the ministry, preliminary findings indicate that there is currently no evidence to support these allegations. However, it added that immediate and decisive steps are being taken to address this situation with the utmost seriousness and urgency." Trinidad and Tobago also plans to engage with Venezuela through official diplomatic channels to request any information or evidence relevant to the claims. On the international scene, Russia launched a barrage of drones and ballistic missiles across broad swathes of Ukraine early Friday, killing at least 3 people and injuring dozens of others, days after Kiev launched a daring raid on Moscow's fleet of strategic bombers. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said Russia had used more than 400 drones and 40 missiles in the overnight attack, making it among the war's largest. He said Moscow's attack killed 3 people, injured another 49, and targeted almost all of Ukraine, listing 9 regions, from Lviv in the west to Sumy in the northeast. Although Russia has pummeled Ukraine almost daily over 3 years of full-scale war, Ukrainians had been bracing for retaliation since Sunday, when Kiev launched an audacious operation that struck more than a third of Russia's strategic cruise missile carriers. And now for a look at the weather. The present weather is partly cloudy. Winds are gentle from northeast at 12 miles per hour. Seas are 0.9 to 1.5 meters or 3 to 5 feet. The weather forecast for today predicts partly cloudy skies with a 40% or moderate chance of showers. Tonight is expected to be partly cloudy with a 60% or moderate chance of showers. Sunset today will be at about 15 minutes before 7. Sunrise tomorrow morning will be at around 25 minutes before 6. And that brings us to the end of the ZIZ Midday newscast. Join us this evening for these stories and more in detail. Thank you for tuning in. I am Jasmine Thomas. God bless you.